Dream health is excellent. Wow. Believe that when I see it. Okay, you say excellent, we'll see how long that lasts. Excellent was there for like 5 seconds and then didn't come back until it went offline. There. For now it says it is. We'll see if it sticks.
So is it mine or yours?
It's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course it's behind.
Where's your phone?
There.
I told you should have it up here, you know.
Yeah, well, it's charging.
Yeah, because that's where the signal is.
Alright, so I'll carry on. Let's see how we're going. It's still recording, as I said, so all that was captured. Let's move these cards. And we will move on to tool spread now. Okay. Moving on to tool spread now. So, little deck, please tell us with 9 cards. Oh, actually, before I do that, I should go and look at the astro clock first. So let me just do that quickly. Also, before I do that, maybe I'll do this first as well. Highlight needs to change. We're doing tool now. Cards. Rider, bear, and woman he has. Change this to rider. Bear. And just get rid of the 4. Garden. Woman. Well, woman and garden together. That's something. Woman. Okay. I know the cards aren't exactly matching, but can't be helped because they're all different sizes. Anyway. Alright, so. No. Reading first. So let's go to Tools Astro Clock. So August, Rider Bear, news from an official, financial news, message from a boss, message from parents, progress on weight loss goals, unlikely, bear woman, female figure with authority, a strong dominant woman, there's that boss figure, health conscious woman, powerful woman, hibernating woman, mother, woman and her boss. I don't want to say that. A woman with a woman who wants to lose weight. Let's say that. And rider woman, new woman coming into your life, a visit from a woman, news or a visitor, a helpful woman who may act as a messenger, or meeting a woman. So what I wrote for this month has a very dominant but feminine presence involved, either a mother or boss figure or someone who thinks they control Tool's life. Just put a comma there. Seems to be calling the shots this month. Perhaps the woman in charge of this engagement contract with Mew is insisting that they continue as planned, such as celebrating their publicly known anniversary. It's another thing I didn't mention there. The 22nd is coming up. Bound to be something. If they're going to keep the ship as attached, if they've got to keep the contract going, then there's bound to be something. Or maybe, or should I say, hopefully, someone who can stop this contract engagement finally steps forward and gives them good news and maybe professional advice on how to end things. Yeah, that's me wishful thinking, right? Anyway, let's see what else we can get from the cards now. Let's not waste any time. Oh, you're still here, Kelly? Wonderful. I'm glad. Glad you're still here. I should try and... try and get that moving there. All right. Okay, so let's go into it. With 9 cards, little deck, please tell us what is in store for Tulpacorn this month. What is his focus this month, first off? What's this month sort of centered around for Tulpacorn? The last readings, we got a lot of hints of a possible spiritual awakening for him as well. Suddenly, listening to that nagging feeling or that intuition that something has to change. Oh, child in the middle, huh? Well, that could be focusing on opening up new businesses. That could be having a new start with something. Could be having a new start on life if it's a big life-changing decision going to be made. I certainly hope it's not him considering, stepping into parenting or something because he's not ready. I don't know if he'll ever be ready because he hasn't got the right attitude about having kids to begin with. So hopefully that's not what it is. Anyway, let's see by looking at the cards surrounding it. So that card came out on its own. I didn't actually start counting yet, so I'm going to count from now. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what else does this month entail for Tulpacorn? Centered around child, new beginning of some sort perhaps, but let's see what else. Start with the Divine Cross, fill in the corners. Okay. So this possible new start, new beginning, new business, where does it all start for Tulpacorn this month? Book. Well, that could be a number of things as well. Could be education. He could be starting a new education system or learning more. He could be learning more about something, possibly taking over his dad's business perhaps, in the future that is. Or it could be, it all starts with secrets, it all starts with the unknown, it all starts with maybe even records. Again, the idea of business fraud or cooking the books comes to mind. But we won't know until we see other cards. So let's move on. Letter. Secret contract. Secret communication about a new start. When the curly starts calling now. Okay, other corners. Has that come through yet? Let me just test. Yep, okay, that's come through. Alright, cool. Sorry, I was just testing the chat. Snake. Oh gosh, I didn't even realize that was what I turned over. Snake. Snake. Okay. Well, snake could also be ambition on a positive side, but it could also be, again, pointing to all the lies and deception involved. Could also be conniving. Being in the same line as the letter here. Deceptive contract. Manipulation also. I think of manipulation as well. With child there, a new way to manipulate the situation. Alright, let's see what the other corner is. Market. Oh, a new way to manipulate business. A new way to make things work for him. Or, as I said, ambition. It could be feeling ambitious to start something new regarding work. It could be that too. Alright, and what have we got up here? So, on his mind. This is on his mind, this row. So, we have book, snake, secret ambitions, or secretly manipulating something. Luck. Fleeting luck, or non-lasting luck, or clover and snake here even. Hang on, let me just go and get that for you right now. Clover, snake. Taking your desires lightly, to desire luck and risks. Luck concerning an enemy, short-term upper hand, easy to manipulate, opportunist, gambling woman, lucky woman. Easy to manipulate the books. Easy to manipulate the books. Luck concerning an enemy doesn't really come across as much. Short-term upper hand. Something is done that makes him think he's got the upper hand. Of course, that's all going to switch when something changes with other people involved, perhaps. Alright, and then what have we got here? So, reality and also in the past or beginning of the month. Cross, burden. Burden. Secrets, or, as I said, cook the books. Excuse me. Cook the books or manipulate the books. Doing so is a real burden on work. Or maybe if he is looking into further his education, maybe that's a real burden on his work, because he suddenly has less time. Thing is, we can't forget that this whole thing was based around a woman this month. So with that in mind, I'd say a slippery woman of some kind, is involved. Possibly secretly. Becoming a real burden on him. Let's do some more cards. What have we got over here? Oh, look at that. I said a woman was involved, and look at that. There she is, right there. Right there. Snake woman letter. A deceiving woman or a deceptive woman that he is in communication with, in agreement with, in contract with. pretty much that's what that is. And lastly, bear. There's the bear. So, rider, bear, woman. The only thing we're missing is rider. But bear, woman, big deal. This woman is a big deal. This woman is a big influence, you could even say, on Tull's life right now, the way things are working. And, yes. Since that's in the future column, doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon either. This femininely person. You know, I also think it's interesting that he got woman as well. Because we already got 3 women there. I haven't got another extra woman card except this one. So this is like really making it clear to me that there is definitely a woman involved here. We're doing a reading for 3 men. And we've got 4 women cards have come out. It's almost, to me, that's almost like a, you know, stop trying to make this woman represent a man, because this is a woman we're talking about here, or at least in some senses. This is a woman we're talking about here. And they're a slippery woman, they're a deceiving, conniving woman, they're someone who thinks they have the upper hand, who think they are in charge because, you know, it's down in writing on a contract of some kind. But based on the others' readings, yeah, or you know what? It could also be, this is Gulf, this woman, and it's not that he is manipulative or deceptive, but that Tull is regarding him, or sort of, how can I say, like, he is manipulating the situation regarding him. It could also be that, I suppose, but I get more the feeling it's about some boss figure woman. I can't, if I were to try and put it the other way, that would mean that Gulf himself is that boss figure woman, and that's just not how things come across. It's definitely not his persona, and it's definitely not the case. He's not a boss woman figure at all in that way. I mean, he might be a bit of a queen sometimes, or he might give that aura, but in the end, he's very humble. He does what he's told, mostly, and yeah, I can't see him in that light, being deceptive or anything. While I know that Gulf is not totally innocent in this whole thing either, like it takes 2 to tango, to make it happen, I don't think he's got evil or bad intentions, which is what this woman figure has been sort of pointing at all along. So I don't believe that's possible to be Gulf myself. Certainly not in Tull's reading anyway. But Tull has a lot of people in his life. And you know, it's interesting because it came through for Tull. It is thought that the woman is on Tull's side. So, you know. I think reading it as a whole, this woman is causing burden, is causing trouble, possibly inflicting pain on Tull, in Tull's life, because of the control, the contract, the domination she has, or the position she has in Tull's life. Could be a motherly figure, could be an older person just in the family, could be any family member. I say older because in the past a lot of the time it has been referred to as an older person, like Lily, for example, sort of points more to an elderly person, or it doesn't have to be elderly, but definitely older than self, like an older sibling or something like that, even, which without pointing the finger is not crazy. There have been other thoughts that would back up that theory of a family member who's really business first and really taking advantage of not himself but his name connected to Tull lately, has been using that to their advantage for their businesses, for gaining attention. Lucky I don't have to put Tull's cards up because I don't have, as I said, I don't have another woman card. But, and other cards in common. As I said, he's got the bear from his astro cards, woman from his astro cards. The only one missing is the rider, which is more or less about news. But that could also, news could come into this down here, since this is the conclusion. The news could be about either this continuing, this contract or agreement, or it could be about a change to this contract agreement. Seeing as the child is in the middle, I would say it's more towards that. It's more towards something changing, or a new start with an agreement, or engagement even, dare I say it, something, a big change that will give Tull a new start in life, something like that, rather than something that is going to just continue. Child doesn't really give that impression of something that's just going to continue, carry on, especially if it's been going on for years already. So yeah, so on his mind, the unknown or secrets or some kind of education, possibly looking back and thinking how lucky he has been regarding lies and deception. Or lucky regarding his ambitions. I looked up clover snake, didn't I? It was pretty much about that sort of false sense of luck. Like even a lucky woman, sort of, you think back to, you have a certain woman next to you while you're gambling and you might win. That kind of suspicious thought of the luck doesn't last unless that person is by your side. So that's kind of like giving the idea of fleeting luck. Perhaps he's looking at his past thinking, he has been lucky up to now, but right now it's just the burden is becoming too overwhelming of wanting to have this new start, but this woman possibly stopping it. Or this woman wanting Tull to have this new start, possibly, even. Maybe even, dare I say it, with the woman child here, you might make the connection of a mother and child, maybe, or a parent, in other words. Maybe the burden of Mew wanting kids is too much for the relationship to continue, which is not the first time I've mentioned that. Maybe it's that as well, and that's in reality. Hidden influences, we have work, bear, letter. Work is a big deal. Becoming too burdensome because he's so focused on work. If you go forward with that idea, that the idea of having kids in the future is a big burden on Tull, because he has higher ambition, higher goals, and career moves he wants to make in the future. He wants to build an empire, not build a family, and that's a big deal in his life. So the thought of having children or becoming a parent just in order to keep hold of Mew is really burdensome on him. He doesn't, it's troubling. Could be that. Earlier this month or in the past, book, cross, market. This could be, if we go back to the idea of cooking the books, it could be becoming hard to work in a business that is cooking the books too much, or that is not being honest, or where fraud has happened and it's sort of got to a stage where it's hard to come back from. Could also be, as I said, if he's learning new education for possibly taking over the ropes of his dad's business in the future. Could be that is burdening him because it's taking a lot of time, making him work longer hours, or just making him work more. Current column, or in the middle of the month, we have Clover, Child, Bear. Lucky Child, Gifted Child, fleeting luck with a new start or a new business, trying to protect that, protecting what you already have, protecting your chance to have a new start, your chance to birth a new business. That could also be playing into what I was just talking about. Tull's mind is business first. He doesn't want to build a family, he wants to build an empire. So in order to protect that ambition, or that dream, or that new project or start that he holds close, he may have to make some changes. But it's very important to him. It's very important to him, but it's a burden on him with, having to choose, possibly. Because maybe that's what the ultimatum sort of would be with Mew, is, you're going to choose your business, or are you going to choose us? Us meaning, building a family, settling down, etc. And maybe Tull isn't at all ready to make such a choice. If, of course, that is how it really is. I'm just considering what possibilities there are. Could even be that, having a new start with someone in his life other than Mew, the woman stops this from happening. This dominant woman stops it from happening. Could also be linked that way. And then, like I said, in the future column, or later in the month, we have the snake, the woman, and the ladder. So clearly something is still happening. Someone is still being deceptive, someone is still cooking the books, someone is still lying, or someone has still manipulated someone to sign a contract. Or if this is the contract of him and Mew, perhaps, someone is still insisting that contract be kept, that contract be carried out, and that lies still continue to be told, meaning, they'll go somewhere on the 22nd and pretend to celebrate, But somewhat Mew can't hide it anymore. He can't hide his true feelings about the matter. He's really looking worn out, just tired, just can't be bothered anymore, can't even put a smile on his face anymore, hardly, when trying to do these things, trying to prove to the world that he is as happy as he claims, that he is with this person. Just not working. For anyone who is thinking that the woman could be fans or anti-fans or haters even, very hard to make that connection, in particular with this, because, well, for a start, a woman with a letter, it's like that's a written agreement. That's something. They've got some kind of power over them. Now, according to both of them, the world has no power over them. They don't give a damn what fans think. There's nothing, you know. They're not scared of what fans may think. They've chosen what they've chosen. They've made their own destiny. So, doesn't it all fit in with the idea that this could be linked to evil, toxic fans, or whatever some shippers might be thinking there? Just, you know, just typical of me to think like from a shipper's viewpoint for a minute there. But yeah, no, it's some might even say this could be you're the evil woman. No, I'm not that important. Come on, I'm not that important in these people's lives. That no matter how much I know or I'm gaining knowledge from these readings and everything, they're still complete strangers to me living on the other side of the world. So I don't think I'd have that important a place in their life to actually appear in their readings, okay? You know what I mean? No, really, I only think there's two possibilities for the woman. That's either the woman is Gulf or the woman is this boss figure that keeps popping up everywhere, causing trouble for all three of them. Which also could make people think it's to do with fans, but no. Fans don't have that much power over them. They really don't. Gulf in particular has proven time and time again that he is stronger than that, you know, he can look at what fans say, take it on if it's, you know, something he should pay attention to, if it's what do you call it, what's the word? I can't think of it, but that sort of criticism that's actually useful for you, he can take that on and, you know, do what he will with it, while also ignoring all the comments and opinions that really do not matter at all and that he should ignore. Gulf has already sort of been able to find his place with that. Mew may claim he has, but in the end, his actions sort of prove otherwise. The way he does pay attention to what some haters, anti-fans are saying, the way he still feels a need to defend what's going on, or prove it. The way he even came out with that IG story about, you know, please respect me and know that this is just work, etc. He cares. He cares what people think. It's obvious. And, you know, his thing about I don't want to please the world, well, kind of in some ways hypocritical, because in some ways he's doing just that. You know what I'm saying? But in Tool's case, you know, the claim of in the past receiving death threats, really being affected by what fans were saying, possibly true, but also possibly like just a victim's point of view that, you know, could be healthily fixed. And because this is in reality, it's not on his mind. If it was on his mind, then I might say there's a possibility that it's about those fans and those comments that he's taking to heart. But since it's in reality, it's like this isn't just what Tool's thinking. This is actually what's going on. So, as I said, I don't think we're that important to turn up in a reading like that. I think this is more likely someone really close to him that he possibly even trusts or did trust in the past, enough to get into this trouble in the first place, who has taken advantage of the situation, manipulated the situation to suit their own needs, their own selfish needs, and possibly that is really becoming a burden on Tool in particular. Maybe it's becoming a burden on Tool because, as I've said in other readings, he might have been going along with it up to this point because it was benefiting him. But now he may start to, sort of gain a backbone and think, no, I don't want this anymore. And once he starts saying he doesn't want it anymore, 2 against 1, this woman won't have control anymore suddenly. If 2 people start saying, no, we don't want this, we refuse, as I've said before, it's like trying to get 2 retracting magnets to stick together, and it's just not going to happen. So, yeah. This could all be leading up to, as I said, the letter might involve the rider back there. This could all be leading up to Tool making that final decision to either announce the end of the engagement or to bring some kind of news that will change the story, that will sort of act like a plot twist, supposedly. But as I've said, my first grand tableau that I did had Tool sort of sitting in that messenger position, that rider position. The second one didn't as obviously, but it still agreed with the idea that Tool would be the one to speak up or, make the move. So from that point of view, yes, this spread also agrees with that. It also, if I look at, this is reality, as I just said, and then hidden influences. This is the reality. The woman is becoming such a heavy burden on Tool because the hidden influences, this woman is really trying to protect the contract, protect the agreement, protect the engagement, protect the market, protect the work-related business that this engagement has brought her or them. In that regard, could also be trying to protect the ship, let's just say, trying to keep feeding the ship so that it remains, beneficial with business for them. Could be that as well. If we do knighting, we have book, bear, snake. Now see, even that combination there, the bear and the book, the bear and the book, or the book and the bear, this powerful figure has secrets or has knowledge, unknown knowledge to the outside world perhaps, that they can possibly use, that they can use as a weapon, using knowledge as a weapon. This could even go back to the idea of blackmail. Perhaps this person is, they have information about one or both of them that could really change things up if put into the wrong hands or revealed to the world. And that is what keeps both Tool and possibly Mew in line at the moment. They saving face could be a big thing about it. But, with the snake here, it's deceptive, it's manipulating. And it's possibly even to the point that is Eight of Swords comes to mind, where, you know, the victim mentality of you think that you're stuck, you think you have no choice, you think you just have to go ahead and do what they say, but the truth is you're more powerful than you think, and you could change things. You could change things by changing your actions, by stepping up, by standing against them for what you believe, what you want, what you manifest, what you feel. I suppose if we go back to the idea of it just being knowledge, Till wants to gain more knowledge for possible future business pursuits or something like that. It could be just Till wants to protect his ambitions. Till wants to protect his ambitions so that he has a chance in the future to have these new starts. That goes back to the idea of, like, the idea of having kids is a threat to him. Coming this way, Clover Market, Clover Letter. Fleeting luck regarding work, fleeting luck regarding contracts, possibly the contract that he's in right now with Mew, possibly. You know, it's fleeting luck. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. And that could be something threatening to him as well. Putting burden on him because he knows that his luck is possibly already running out, or is going to run out, or has already run out. If we go this way, snake cross letter. Maybe I should look that up, actually. Let me see what snake cross is first. Or, no, actually going in the direction of reading, I should do cross snake. Cross snake. Burdened by one's desires, to strive despite suffering, burdensome enemy, tolerating people you do not like, struggling with a competitor, lack of control, and burdened woman. Lack of control. Lack of control under the contract. Lack of control with this contract. Tolerating people you do not like because of this contract. Could even be tolerating, you know, being so up and close with someone you're not really feeling that way with because of a contract. Burdened by one's desires. Maybe Tull's business ambitions is what stops him from even dreaming or considering the family picture. To strive despite suffering. Could be Tull's trying to strive for this new start in his life despite suffering because of this possible woman figure who has him under contract right now. there you go. Now you got sound, haven't you? Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. How long has that been going for? Has that been since the beginning? Gosh. Well, anyway, I've been recording, and I'm pretty sure I've proven that in the past that the recording picks it up anyway. So you'll just have to watch the record. You have to watch when I re-upload the video. I'm so sorry. Oh gosh. Well, good thing I'm bringing cards up then. You can see what all these cards are. So yeah, the first one, at some point you have to realize that some people can stay in your heart but not in your life. That could be Tool's sort of gotta let me go card. Moving on. In the end, only 3 things matter. How much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Again, how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Another point towards him letting you go, if he is not his destiny. Okay, moving on. This one. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. So this is like I said earlier, but obviously you didn't hear me. Tool is not getting any benefit out of this, really, out of this connection anymore. Apart from maybe financially, but even then, you know, it could be fraud involved, could be blackmail involved, could be many things. So he's not really doing himself any favors by hanging on to this connection with me, if that's what he's doing, by possible force. Next card. Before you assume, learn the fact. Before you judge, understand why. Before you hurt someone, feel. Before you speak, think. This could just be simply trying to... I feel like this whole bottom line has been about, you know, stop telling lies. Stop deceiving yourself and other people. You know, be ready to hear the truth, to accept the truth. Even so with the next card. This one, if you can't do anything about it, then let it go. Don't be a prisoner to things you can't change. So if Tool can't change the way Mew feels about him, let it go. Stop trying to flog a dead horse, as I've said many times. And, you know, if it's meant to be between you, then it will be without any effort, hardly. But if it's not meant to be, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder. Overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. Stop getting in your own way. This could be because Tool is constantly overthinking how he's going to end things, how he's going to make this big announcement or this big change to their plans, possibly. He keeps overthinking it, which results in delays, continuously delaying it. And then the next card we get is a reminder that, you know, you're the author of your own life, your own book, as I said in Mew's reading earlier. This card. Every morning you are born again. What you do today is what matters most. In other words, you don't have to just continue on with the plan somebody else has made regarding your life. Any morning, you can just wake up and be like, I've had enough. I want to do the right thing. I want to get back on track. And, you know, act accordingly. And again, moving on to the next card. All these cards seem to connect in a line. That's why I feel like, you know, it was right to take them all. Because it's not like they're not all different cards that don't fit in with each other, if that makes sense. Here, this one, connecting to this one next. prayer is when you talk to the universe. Meditation is when you listen to the universe. So, if Tool is at all like praying for his life to become easier, for things to become easier for him and Mew, and there's every sort of witch sign being thrown at him from the universe that no, this is karmic. You shouldn't be pursuing this way because this isn't what's meant for you. This isn't what is in true alignment with your true destiny. Well, you have to listen. You talk and you ask somebody something. You talk to somebody about something, or you ask somebody about something. You don't just do it for them to listen to you. You have to be willing to listen to what they have to say in return. It's a two-way street. So you can throw your concerns and worries at the universe as much as you want, but if you're not ready to listen to the answer, you're still no better off. And then this card that comes next also cements that again. Now, I'm pretty sure we haven't had this card before. I'm pretty sure that Tool is the first one to get this one. But the words are just like so resonating with the situation. Where is it? That's interesting. Do I not have that one? That's weird. Wow. I can't actually see that one. That is bizarre. Well, it's here in the flesh, guys. I don't know why it's not in my file. That's weird. But here. Remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. And as I was saying, but you couldn't hear me earlier, that could be related to that too. He needs to let go. He needs to let go of this situation with Mew. And he has the power to do so. And if what he wants is to stick with Mew and marry Mew, but then he doesn't get it, it could be a wonderful stroke of luck in his regard, because he may become a real business tycoon, bigger than his dad. He might really struck luck with something else in his life. It might even be love. There might be somebody else out there waiting for him, his true love out there waiting for him, that will not dare step in, or divine timing will not allow them to meet until this karmic relationship is completed. So it could be that too. And then this card finally. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Now, this one I feel like is really, like I said, the bottom line seems to be pointing towards like stop lying, stop telling all these lies, stop deceiving yourself and other people. Well, this last card is like, is it true? No. In most cases, it's not true. So why say it? Is it necessary? Well, even if it were true, is it necessary? No, it's never really necessary, because, you don't have to feel obligated to say things just to prove that they, your status, basically. You don't. You don't. You're only proving that the world has power over you by doing so, trying to convince what looks like yourself in these interviews and on camera that you really are as you say you are, but body language betrays you time after time. Is it necessary? It's not. It's not necessary at all. And is it kind? Well, like I was saying before, you might be pleasing one group, but you don't even know if that one group is genuinely happy, or if they're just happy that they're on the winning side currently. But at the same time, you could be making more than 3 groups feel unsettled. So is it kind? No, it's not kind at all, really. If it makes you happy, keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be shared to the world in order to make you happy, does it? So it could be, that is if anything's true, of course, I mean that. But if it's lies, then of course they have to tell the world, because otherwise the lie has no power. So yeah, interesting array of cards there. And when I was shuffling and all those cards came out, I said, what advice do you have for Tulpacorn for this month? So that's a lot of advice. But all in all, it all, comes down to the same little package that we've been getting for many readings now, which is, Tul, you have more power than you think to change things, if that is truly what you're being guided to do behind the scenes, through intuition, etc. You have the power to do this, no matter who's got power over you or you feel has something held over your head. You have the power to change things. You have the power to do the right thing. Every morning is another opportunity to wake up and say, right, I've had enough. I want my life back. I want to get back in alignment, and I want to be happy, and I want Mew to be happy. That's also something there. And if you keep praying for somebody to make your life easier, the answer could be right there in front of you. You need to let go of what no longer serves you. And not getting what you want or what you may have wanted at first could be a wonderful stroke of luck. All right. Moving on. So let me get these cards first. Let me pack up these cards too. And then we'll get some Buddha cards for MewGulf. Yes, I thought it was too good to be true. This second reading I've put on has been excellent since the beginning, but you couldn't hear me. There had to be something. Anyway. Alright, so Buddha Wisdom, what advice can you give Mew Superset for this month, please? Maybe 2 more cards? Wow, you're really jumpy today, willing to give advice. At least 2 more cards, please, Buddha Wisdom, for advice for Mew Superset for this month, for his possible spiritual awakening, big deal regarding a woman. That's 2 cards, alright. Let's have a look. Okay, first card starting with this one. You don't need someone to complete you. You only need someone to accept you completely. That's a good point. Because if Mew thinks that Tul completes him because of their compatible way of thinking, logical way of thinking, both having those air elements, you don't need someone to complete you. You just need someone to accept you completely. Kind of makes me think accept you completely. Mew has more to him than his intellectual, logical side. He has his romantic, very clingy side as well, which is something that definitely Gulf accepted of him. But, you know, the way it looks to the world, the way how Mew is all hands off when with Tull in public, you know, why would he restrain himself for the sake of making a point about fan service or something? I don't believe that. I think there's obviously something not compatible with him and Tull in being so clingy, being so hands all over each other. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen naturally because it's not meant to happen, for one thing. So, you know, someone who accepts you completely. There's also the idea that Mew is a little bit closed off, emotionally closed off. You can't accept someone completely unless you actually are let in to them, to their full self. So to accept someone completely who is emotionally closed off somewhat is impossible. And that goes for both of them, actually, because I think Tull is also a little bit closed off. So neither is willing to have that emotional intimacy, to be vulnerable to each other in that emotional way. And, you know, crying in front of someone is not that. That's not being emotionally vulnerable to this point. Especially if it's crocodile tears, or if it's just tears for the camera, or just being overwhelmed by, you know, being around people or the presence or something. That's not true emotional intimacy. So I feel like Mew's true emotional self has really only come out, or let's say his Pisces side has really only come out with Gulf. Maybe it did come out a little bit with his partner before Gulf, but then they were having all sorts of issues. Other than that, obviously the other one did not open their heart. They were not emotionally available either to Mew. So not the same thing. Whereas Gulf, I mean, it was hard to deny what we saw on camera, what we saw on screen, what we saw between them. Even in candid camera moments, just the connection they had was so strong, so emotional, so beautiful. When they were actually able to act it out as, you know, love interests on screen, it was so passionate. And you could just tell that there was real feelings involved. So, yeah, it's not so much that maybe Gulf completes Mew, but more that Gulf was ready to accept Mew for all he was. I mean, if it's true that Gulf is still seeing Mew on the side or behind the scenes, or that they still are in connection despite everything that's going on, that takes a real person to, you know, accept what's going on right now, especially if it's something like, you know, the current engagement is only to cover the truth. To have your true love partner, etc., parading around with someone else while you're in the background, only, you know, getting your secret moments with him and the world doesn't know about it. You know, it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a lot of patience, and patience is wearing thin, as we saw in Gulf's reading. So yeah, but for someone to do that, you know, they've accepted you completely, even to the point that if they're willing to walk away to make you happy, to walk away to, you know, for the better good for both of you, that's also to accept you completely, because it's like accepting that they're not going to be the one, that they're not going to be in that position in your life as they want to, but they want what's best for you, so they want you to be happy either way, with or without them. That's also a way of accepting you completely. So truly, I think this is pointing to Gulf. You don't need someone to complete you, meaning Tull. You only need someone to accept you completely, meaning Gulf. Just going to say it. Alright, and the other two cards. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. This brings me back to, I keep thinking about that phone cover that Mew used to use for a short while there, of if you can imagine it, it's true, or something along those lines. It's like, yeah, it really agrees with this statement of you are what you think. What you feel will come back to you. You know, it's like that first card I started with earlier of if you think positive, life will be positive. If you think about all the blessings in your life, you will attract more blessings. If you think about all the problems in your life, you will attract more problems. So what you feel, you attract. And then what you imagine, you create. So it goes back to the idea that if you can imagine it, it can happen. So if Mew is still imagining his life with golf, there is still hope for the future for him and golf in the context of that. And then look at that. In common with the one Tool had, this one, but not in a way that agrees with them sticking together. This is more about they both need to let go. This one. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. It's like a big wake-up call to Mew as well, to be like, you know, 3 things matter. How much you loved in the past, because loved is a past tense. So how much you loved someone in the past. How gently you lived. How gently you lived. I suppose that's, I'd interpret that as how kind you were to yourself. Like self-love, doing the right thing for yourself. That kind of thing. And then how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Well, of course, the elephant in the room would be letting go of this current engagement situationship would be it. And since that came up for Tool as well, it says it even more. Both of them need to let go. Both of them need to stop trying to gain some kind of financial stability from this unstable situation, this possibly toxic situation. You know, they need to stop letting this person who has some sort of power over them control everything and start becoming the master of their own life story again. And just end things, tell the world it didn't work out in the end, and just move on. Alright? And then finally, oh well, not finally, because I'll still do one Jai, but I'll do golf first. Let me just take that highlight off, because that's not Tool anymore. Take that off. So now, for golf, Buddha Wisdom, what advice do you have for Golf Kanawat this month of August? If he is really attempting to step out of Mew's life for good, what's your advice to him about that? Or if there's a new lady friend or something, what's your advice about that? Okay, well, we got what we asked for anyway. First card. This is interesting because this was the first card that came out when I said about possibly walking out of Mew's life, attempting to walk out of Mew's life. Help someone today. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. So that could be interpreted as he is the light. He is Mew's light. He is what's guiding him sort of unconsciously perhaps, and if he makes this move, it could, as I say, trigger Mew into action. And then, as a result, brighten both of their paths for a brighter future. Then we have if you love someone, tell them, because hearts are often broken by words left unspoken. This could be because when he does attempt to step out of Mew's life, it's going to be raw. It's going to be raw emotions all the way. You know, Gulf is going to be true with him and, you know, say, I love you. I do love you, but I need to, you know, look out for myself, look out for you. You know, I want you to be happy, and if that's without me, so be it. You know, all those kind of things. But he has to communicate all this with Mew. Otherwise, if he were to just walk out silently, broken hearts, unfinished business left unfinished, and just a cycle still left open, not shut, it's just not going to do anybody any good. So, you know, communicating what's in your heart is definitely a necessary part of this. And then properties. You can't change how people feel about you, so don't try. Just live your life and be happy. Well, this could be, if by any chance we are mistaken, Mew has truly moved on with Tool, etc., still communicating with Mew how he feels, Gulf, and stepping out for good is still necessary in order to have that closure, to close that door for good. And then, you know, just admit that, well, I can't change the way Mew feels about me, even though I feel deep in my heart that there is more for us. I can't change the way Mew is feeling right now. I can't wait around for him to wake up, is also some way you could interpret that. So it's like Gulf would just, it's not so much that they're not meant to be together and we were wrong. It's more that Gulf is deciding, I can't just wait around. You know, he will, when the time is right, he will wake up and, you know, do what is right for him. But I can't just sit here and wait on the sidelines while he takes his, you know, what would you call it? Leisurely time to come to a decision. So it could be that, and it's just Gulf being like, he will feel that relief when he does attempt to walk away. He will feel that relief of, you know, I've finally chosen myself. I've finally stepped away from that toxic connection that I've been feeling, or that karmic cycle that's been holding me prisoner for so long. But it's only temporary because, as I said in the other readings, Mew is not going to let him walk out of his life entirely. Just not going to do it hands down. So even if they do end up becoming like ending things, Mew is still not going to let him do it fully, if that makes sense. All right. And could even be the middle card for Gulf, could be in regards to, like, you don't have to tell the world who you love, etc., but it wouldn't hurt, since it would help a lot of broken hearts mend. That's just something that came to me last minute there, but kind of selfish on a fan's point of view. So probably not what the actual point is, but just another possibility. All right. That was just from under there, wasn't it? Alright, and finally pulling some cards. Buddha Wisdom, what is your advice for Wanjai this month? As usual, we are still holding strong to our belief, still hoping for the future that our couple will reunite in some form. But, you know, as usual, our advice is to watch out what we say, etc. Okay, so we've got 2 cards there. Can I get one more, please? But we also need to, of course, focus on our own personal lives. What are we getting from advice for Buddha this month? Yeah, after I just said that, I got that one. Okay. Let's see. So first of all, I think this one is... You know what? I think... Splitting this into 3 cards, three categories. We've got 3 different types of Wanjai. We've got the Wanjai who sort of allows themselves to be drawn to think negatively very easily and sort of suffers as a result. That's the first card. Second card would probably be people like me who, you know, we believe that there is definitely still hope, that there is a connection still happening, etc. And then thirdly, probably for this one would be like closeted Wanjai, I would say. So first let's do the first card. So this one. To cure suffering, free yourself from attachment. Attachment is the source of all suffering. So for those who are like really allowing current situation to affect them, even to the point of maybe getting depressed, feeling sad, feeling betrayed, etc., you may have a bit of an unhealthy attachment to being a fan of MewGulf, and you may need to step back and sort of address yourself first and, you know, just let things go for a while and then come back when you feel more... Hey, you alright? When you feel more prepared to accept the current situation in everything it is. Are you okay? What's wrong? What? The door? Being left outside. It's alright. You know we're only in here. It's okay. Yes, and then the second card. This one I was saying probably relates to people like me who still hold on to the hope, who believe that something is happening or will happen. Happiness will never come to those who fail to appreciate what they already have. I feel like this is a reminder to us to, instead of focusing so much on what's currently happening, the situation.
Where's the book, Mommy?
Here. We should be focusing more on what we have, our personal lives, but also like all the memories we still have of MewGulf as well, which I think a lot of us do well as well. We reminisce daily with all our posts on all the memories we had, etc. This could also stand for those I just spoke about who are finding it hard to let go. Maybe instead of letting go completely, you need to just let go of the current and go back to the past and sort of, you know, stay in that for a little while to sort of strengthen your belief in what you see in front of you, you might say. Some might say that might be unhealthy if it's, you know, being too connected to the past, but only you know what's good for you. And if watching past videos of MewGulf makes you happy, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with that sort of, you might say, guilty pleasure that you can enjoy in your own home in private that, you know, will make you feel better. But also I think, as I said, for people like me, and that it's also a reminder that, you know, it's good to be appreciative of what you already have. So what's happening currently for us? Well, we're still getting all these hints and clues as we interpret them from MewGulf. We've still got all the memories. It almost feels like we have endless memories of all the things MewGulf did, and you know, all the things we saw them doing, all the feelings we saw come out on screen, etc. Milk, yeah, go and get your milk. So it could be that too. And then lastly, this is the one that I sort of felt like closeted Wanjai might relate to. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. What I mean by closeted Wanjai is that you're still a fan of Mew or Golf or both, but you're not willing to hold the title of a Wanjai because of, you know, the growing stigma that has happened over the last 6 years. But you're sort of holding on to the negative side of being a fan of MewGulf, which is not doing yourself any good. Dad? Yes. Go on. It's like, if you want to be a Wanjai fan, be a Wanjai fan. You know, don't be scared or be affected by all the outside opinions of it all. You know, we've still got a very loving, warming community, us Wanjai, and the music that I put behind my IG story kind of tells you how I feel as well. You know, MewGulf or no MewGulf, Wanjai is always going to be something dear to me. You know, this community that I've become part of. You know, I feel what you feel. We all have empathy for each other because we're all in the same boat. And I feel like that's something that really holds us together as well. Stops this fandom from completely dying off as the shippers wish to happen. It's never going to happen because we always have all those precious memories. You know, even if in the end Mew does choose to go that way and does go through with this engagement, whatever, Wanjai can still choose to love MewGulf as they were, as they are, and you know, focus more on preserving those memories than focusing on the negative current situation, if you want to say that. So, you know, if you deep down, if you're watching, you're not a Wanjai, but you kind of wish you were, or you wish you were back then when they were, you know, when MewGulf were together, you wish you could have enjoyed that, I would suggest you join anyway and like just enjoy the memories, because the memories are that vibrant with feeling that it's almost like they are still happening. And there's still a very rich community of Wanjai alive. You know, we are still very much alive. We are not dead and gone. We are not has been. We are alive. And we're not going to be killed off that easily. I mean, really the only thing I can picture ending us would be MewGulf coming together in some kind of big announcement that please stop shipping us, or please stop sharing content with us together. Something like that. That may be towards Wanjai's undoing. But even then, I sort of secretly feel like, you know, us Wanjai would still enjoy our guilty pleasures in a private group somewhere, you know, just enjoying it privately to respect our idol's wishes. But yeah, never will Wanjai never exist. I believe that with all my heart. Even if MewGulf were no more, one day will still remain. So, you know. That's another thing also that possibly may add to the ones I said may need to step away for a while. You can still be a one-jai. You can still be a one-jai, but stop following Mew, or even Golf for that matter, because we have that many fans that are daily sort of notifying and informing fellow one-jai of what's going on, that you would know what's going on anyway. You don't need to see it raw in the flesh from Mew's page or Golf's page to actually see it, because fans share it all the time. And if that's something that you might need to do, the only difference is that possibly one-jai will not share what's happening on the raw side regarding Mew, if you know what I mean. So you won't have to confront that, what you might say, ugly reality of what's going on currently. You won't have to be confronted with that in your face every time you go to look at what's new with Mew. You'd be able to see it in sort of a more filtered sense, because a lot of one-jai do not include that person's face. A lot of people do only share pictures that don't include at all. Others only support Mew's solo things, or things that don't involve anything to do with that part of his life. So, you know, it might be a more filtered but healthy for you personally way of keeping informed about your idol without fully letting go, because it's not healthy for you if it pushes you to depression at all. And for some of you, that might even just be letting go completely, because honestly, I can't lie. Some of the pictures I've been seeing lately of Mew's expression, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see just how unhappy he really is at the moment. How not head over heels in love, or really, you know, 10 of Cups life he is having right now. It's just not happening. And like I said earlier, the fact that even the family's expressions are starting to mirror that is just proving even more that there's more to this whole situation than meets the eye. And it's predicted in not just my readings but other readings that there is an ugly truth that is about to rear its head, that is about to change everything. We just don't know when. We don't know when it's coming. So, anyway, yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. We've done pretty well time-wise today. Again, I'm sorry about the quality of the stream earlier. I guess this one's been excellent, which is, apart from the fact that you say you couldn't hear me at first. I wonder how long that was for. I'll have to watch back and see when I actually noticed, because the timing for even the comments, I wasn't seeing, you know, sort of live time. So I don't know when that happened, but if nothing else, we've got the recording and I can just upload the whole thing to you. So there's always that. As for the next reading, hang on, probably the 25th. Yeah, the 25th. The 25th will be the monthly check-ins for MewGulf and the business partners, as usual. As I said in my IG story, I'm sorry, I really can't tell you how soon any translations will be up, because I've had to completely try a new system that is more time consuming. because it doesn't allow me to check through spell checking as quickly. It doesn't allow me to like just change one word through a whole document at once, because I need to do it bit by bit in order to get the timings. And the timings are crucial for me to be able to put the other languages into translation, because YouTube does not do that automatically. Basically, YouTube will only accept other translations if they are presented in a pretty little package already completely done. You know what I mean? So this is why not being given access to the subtitle timings has been really difficult lately, because I haven't been able to get those timings to edit them in order to add them to other translations, if that makes sense. So, but all in all, I'm doing my best for a one-person team, and also, like, I'm not making money from this, guys. I'm not monetizing my channel. I'm really gaining no financial benefit from this at all, which means that I don't pay for any services that could make it easier either. I don't put my money towards paying for someone to do the job for me or anything like that either, and I'm not in a financial position to do so either. So I do what I can, and yeah, it might just be better for some of you to find an alternative way to translate it for yourself. The other option is that I don't do subtitles at all, and instead I just present the written form, and I present the link to you in the, down below under the videos, and you can go and you can read it all in your own language. I could do that, because that way I'd still be able to do the spell check the quicker way and all that. But of course you would have to try and put the words to the video if you wanted to do that, or for some things, they might be visual sensitive, and you might get a little confused of what I was referring to if you can't see the picture. So it's not ideal, but if that's all I can offer you guys, then maybe that might be the way of the future. But for now, I will keep pursuing this new system and just see if I can sort of get it to work for me in some way better than it is already. So just leave it with me. I'll do my best to get it out to you guys as soon as possible. Maybe once I finish this first video, then I'll do all the spell checks for written versions. I'll put them out so you can read them if you wish, and I'll keep working on the subtitles in the background. Maybe that'll be the way I'll do it, because at least then there's some form of translation for you. So I might do that, actually. Yeah, I might go back to spell checking just for that, and then once the written translation is up, I can start working on the subtitles. Alright, I might do that from this video onwards. So look out for that in the written comments below, or the description below, I should say. From now on, there'll be a link that says go to this link to access the written translation. Okay? Alright, I'll leave you guys with that. One Jayon, take care, and I'll see you in a fortnight. Bye-bye.